Hello there. I thought I would do a quick tutorial on the Deltarome HD35 software. Sometimes it's not the most intuitive piece of software to install in the whole world. So basically we're just going to go to deltaome.com, we're going to go to support, and we're going to go to we're going to go to software. Now, to save you getting terribly bored watching this video, I've already downloaded the software. So here it is here in the download folder. Now I'm running this, I'm doing this on a virtual machine because my own computer has this already installed. So if it's a little bit jerky, that's why. So I'll extract all the software from a zip folder. So there are two parts to this software. One is the MySQL database, which is a product of Oracle, which just holds all the information. The actual database is held by that. And then there's the software itself by Deltarome that looks at the MySQL database and then creates reports and graphs, etc. from that. So what we're going to do is start the auto run process, and we're presented with a warning about unknown publisher, but we'll run anyway. We'll be given a choice of language, and so have your language of choice. I'm going to go with English. Now, first point of choice. We have two versions of the software. CFR21 is a special medical version if you're working, especially in the UK, where you need to have, and New Zealand, where you need to have a traceable audit path. 99.997% of people are not going to need that. So let's go with the standard install of the software. This costs extra, and you'd have to buy a license. So we're going to install HD35. And it tells us there's a couple of extra things we need from Microsoft. We need CLR types, and I think there's one other program that we need from Microsoft. They're from Microsoft, so we know that they are kosher. So here we are installing the system CLR types for SQL Server. We accept the agreement and we go install. It's on the MySQL setup is the part where it often goes wrong. We get so used to just clicking next, next, next all the time. And on the MySQL, that's not the case. We'll get to that in a moment. So I'm going to go finish here. And now we're going to install Report Viewer Runtime. So again, if your computer has these already, you may not need to do this. Random characters there. Because this is a virtual machine, it has nothing. So I'm installing Report Viewer. And then finally we'll get to the actual HD35 software, which is what we really need to have. But some of these other ancillary softwares are needed also. Once the HD35 install is complete, we'll then install the MySQL, and as I mentioned, that's where things often go pear-shaped if you don't follow the instructions real super careful. Now at last we're into the actual HD35 software install. So we'll say create an icon, create quick launch, and away we go with the software. This won't take long, happily. On a separate video I show how to download the data from the system, by the way, so I'll put a link where that video is as well. Okay, so we've finished installing the HD35 software. Now we reread the operation requires a MySQL database. Do you wish to install that now? We sure do. And it just puts up a little reminder, follow the instructions. And this really is important. Hopefully your salesperson has given you a printed document showing you where it goes wrong mostly. So here's where we begin, MySQL setup. In this case we're going to go next. we accept the terms of the agreement once we've read them thoroughly and go next. We're going to go with a typical installation and we're going to go install. Okay, now here's where most people would click next, and that would be a mistake. That's not what we do now. What we do is click the close button. This is most unintuitive, but that's what we do. And it tells us we're going to launch the MySQL instance configuration wizard. It may not do that on a virtual machine. It didn't one other time, but we'll see. Oh, it seems to be working. Okay, so we're going to do the configuration wizard. Okay, first of all, yes, we want a detailed configuration. Yes, we want a developer machine. Yes, we want a multifunctional database. Now, the installation path, I'm assuming you're going to put to your root directory of the C drive, but your IT people will hopefully know where the right place is for that for you so that others can use it. We do want a decision support type database, and okay, here's where we need to make some changes. We are going to add a firewall exception to get that through, and we should be checked already, but enable strict mode should be checked. We want the standard character set with Latin 1. We do want to install it as a Windows service, so that should be checked to say to launch it automatically, and we do want to include the bin directory in the Windows path. Now, it's important for you to create your own root password, and it's really important that you remember what that is, because if you forget it, there is no way to uninstall the software, and it's a nightmare to reinstall it. So let's choose 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case. Please don't use 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll click Enable Root Access from Remote Machines. Next. Now, once I hit execute, the process should be that I get 1, 2, a pause, 3, and then 4 ticks. And that will mean everything has gone to plan. So here we go, execute. 2 ticks straight away, good start. Given a few seconds more, the service should start. There it goes, and the final step will be applying security settings, and there we are, we're configured. We got 4 ticks, we know it's good, and we go finish. Now what we can do is run the HD35 software. So we'll get out of the installation, and here on my virtual desktop I have created the icon. If I double click on that, the program will start. Occasionally on some machines I've had to run the initial setup as an admin, but I don't think that's the case here. Now, this is the setup because we checked to run the configuration wizard. We put in the same root password we had before, which we know was 1, 2, 3, 4. We go save, and we go connect. Connection to server done. And one important thing you'll note is that on the bottom here we have MySQL connected. And that's really the installation. We'll go on about how to get the data off the machine in a separate video, and I'll post a link for that below this one. Thank you for watching.